Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on my portfolio analysis on my retirement portfolio. A lot has changed since the last update that we've had a couple of months ago, so it's going to be a fun episode here. I've actually made a couple of changes where I've sold off some positions, and I've made some changes where I've actually bought some brand new positions. So it's going to be an exciting one. Stay tuned for this. But either way, guys, I appreciate if you hit that like button down below if you want me to continue on with this series. I'm not quite sure if these kind of videos appeal to you guys because it's more about me talking to a screen here. But if it is something you want me to continue on, let me know. Otherwise, I am thinking of stopping this series in future months. But anyways, getting into this here, guys. So up here, I'm using TipRanks as kind of the platform here. Link in the description down below if you want to check them out. And I pretty much have my portfolio organized in here to quickly and easily see how my positions are doing, how my dividends are doing, etc. So just as a reminder, the main goal of this portfolio is not for capital appreciation. Remember, this is a retirement portfolio. So I actually want to use this as one of my passive income sources eventually when I do retire. So I'm mainly focused on the dividends here. So I want to pick high quality dividend companies to ensure that I get that consistent stream of dividend income every single month. So just as an overview here, you may notice that the total holdings now sits at 35,000. I did funnel in some new money into this account, so we'll discuss that as well. Overall, my monthly gain is up 32%. That's great and all, but if you look at the total gain just below that, the portfolio is still down around 9.34% since inception. And slightly below that here in the benchmarks versus my returns, you can see how my portfolio has really performed month over month compared to the S&P 500, which is known as kind of the all holy grail benchmark, right? So for the most part, you can see most months I'm pretty much on par or slightly better. December, January, and March were not so great. I did underperform the index, whereas some other months last year, October, November, September, even August, I actually outperformed the index. So it kind of balances out here. And so far in April, we're not done the month yet, but I am outperforming the index as well. Again, this is just capital appreciation. It's just kind of a nice to know, but it's not something I'm heavily focused on for this portfolio. So let's jump into my holdings now over here on the left-hand side. And I kind of have it sorted here by the biggest losers. So, I mean, you can see Boeing's right at the top. We'll discuss that in a few. But before we do that, I kind of want to just talk about a couple positions that I actually closed in this portfolio. So the first thing that I actually sold off in March was Texas Roadhouse. I sold off my complete position there around the $44.90 mark and $44.66 mark. There was a couple orders that I had to put through there to get that sold, but I did take a small loss in that position. Now after that, in April, I actually closed off my position in Pfizer. I sold off all 20 shares that I held, and I sold that off at a slight gain at $35.85. So again, pretty negligible there. Now, the reasoning behind each one of these, the reason I sold Texas Roadhouse was because they did cut their dividend. They did suspend it, at least for the foreseeable future. And again, this is a dividend portfolio account, and I want to make sure that the stocks that I hold are able to weather through any storm. Unfortunately, Texas Roadhouse is not showing that for me, and I had to cut that loose. Pfizer, on the other hand, is still maintaining their dividend. However, I have decided to kind of consolidate my account here into certain sectors. I do have good exposure to the healthcare sector with AbbVie. I'm happy with AbbVie, and AbbVie is a phenomenal dividend stock in my opinion. So I decided to kind of cut Pfizer and funnel my money most likely into AbbVie and maybe Johnson & Johnson in the future. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's kind of go through this list here and talk about the new positions that I've added to this account. So the first one you may have noticed is IBM over here. So IBM, I actually bought this one back in January before the whole market crash here. And I picked up 8 shares at $143.72. And this was actually the day after they reported their last earnings report. Man, I mean, hindsight, I got this at a pretty good price here at $143. I think IBM is going to be a phenomenal company over the long term once again. But looking at it now, of course, the position is down around 16.42%. However, the dividends that IBM pays me is what I'm after, and it's one of the first tech stocks that I added to this portfolio. The next new stock that we have here is Visa. I added 8 shares of Visa at $170.46. And again, this is a great stock that I think is going to perform phenomenally well in this portfolio over the long term. Visa is not a huge dividend stock right now. However, the reason that I included them in this portfolio was because I see a massive potential here with this company. With such a low payout ratio currently, I think they're going to be able to pay a dividend out for many, many decades. They're definitely going to become an aristocrat and most likely a dividend king over time. So I wanted to have that exposure. I wanted to grow with this company. And I like the fact that Visa actually rounds out this portfolio really well with some financial type exposure. Next, we have Microsoft here. So Microsoft's another exciting one. 5 shares of Microsoft, $165.10. So this one, again, it's moved up quite significantly since I've added. It's now sitting at 178, but again, it does not really matter to me. I think Microsoft is another phenomenal company. Of course, it's the largest company in the world, so a lot of other people think that as well. But Microsoft is set up in a position where they have so much cash, so much growth, that they can afford to continue growing the company and paying out a dividend for a very long time. So Microsoft, again, is not a dividend aristocrat yet, but I have no doubt that this company will become one soon enough. Now, Microsoft isn't one of my larger positions in this portfolio, but I do want to add more to this position if we see some weakness in the stock. So I will be on the hunt here to see if we get any opportunities in Microsoft in the coming future. So I forgot to mention Visa here. I'm down around 1.69% with capital. Again, that's pretty negligible. Microsoft, I'm up around 8.18%, which is pretty good considering I added this about a week ago. The final position here that I added in this portfolio, again in April, is Starbucks. Starbucks is one of those stocks that I think is having a massive sale right now if you're looking 10, 20 years out. So you can see I added a good amount of money here into Starbucks, around $4,400. I picked up 57 shares at $69.96, and it's already up around 10% here. So Starbucks makes up a good chunk of the portfolio already. You can see around 12.55%. And I think this is going to be a stock that's going to have phenomenal growth, not only again with capital, but also with their dividends. They're a phenomenal dividend company. They're focused on their shareholders. And this is definitely a company that I want exposure to going forward. Now, apart from that, I'm going to go quickly over some of the other positions I've had previously. So Boeing, as we all know, Boeing's taking a massive hit right now. I'm down 55% on this position, which equates to around $4,000 down. So this one's actually hurting us quite a bit here. You can see I have 22 shares of Boeing. I don't really plan to add any more to this, but I think this company is going to be absolutely fine over time. Now, Boeing did cut their dividend as well, so I am still evaluating to see if I want to cut this position out of this portfolio. But as of right now, I've left it in here, and I think that we're going to see some good recovery in the stock in the next year or so, at least from a capital appreciation standpoint. And I think the dividends are going to come back, but I'll have to wait and see here for some more clarity if they do plan to bring that back. The next stock we haven't talked about here is Altria. We're down around 9% here on this stock, which is about $700. Again, this one's kind of a long-term hold. I'm not really too concerned about being down on this position, mainly because Altria pays me a nice, juicy dividend. 3M, another position that I'm down on, around 8.61%, another high dividend company, extremely safe company, and I think this one's going to be a great performer in this portfolio over the long term. Cisco is another technology stock that I have in here, along with Microsoft and IBM. Now, Cisco, I actually not really sure if I'm going to keep this over the long term. We'll have to wait and see. For right now, I'm pretty happy with it. I really have to evaluate to see if I really do see this business being kind of a strong, massive company in the future. There are some concerns that I have around Cisco, so I'm going to keep this as kind of a question mark for now, but I'm going to leave it in the portfolio. I hold around 20 shares of Cisco, which equates to around $849, so it's not really a big position either way. Caterpillar is a great stock. No plans to cut this out. This is going to be a stock I might actually build on over time, down around 2.35% on this. Lowe's, another great company, dividend king, I believe, and this one I have around $2,000 in. We're more or less flat on this, slightly in the green here. And finally, to round off the list, AbbVie. AbbVie is our best performer in this portfolio, up around 19% here. And we have a good chunk of cash in AbbVie, around $5,200. So it's a good stock. It's doing well for us. And I'm happy to have this in my portfolio. And once again, that Pfizer capital is most likely going to go into AbbVie or some other healthcare stock if this does show more of a discount. So that kind of runs off my positions here. The last thing I want to touch upon is the amount of cash I have sitting in this account right now, which is around $3,800. And I will definitely be deploying this cash over the next few weeks or months as soon as we see some more discounts in the market. I have my eye on a couple other dividend stocks. I don't want to reveal them right now, but if we do see some value in those, I will be buying, and you will see them in a future update video if that's something you guys want to see. Again, drop a like down below and let me know in the comments if you want me to continue on with this series. So the final thing I want to touch upon here is my portfolio as a whole, just kind of the analysis here. You can see my portfolio risk, my beta on my portfolio is under a 1, which is what I like to see. It's not really a volatile portfolio, which is exactly what you need for a dividend type portfolio. Underneath that, you can see here on the left that my position breakdown I'm pretty happy with. You know, it's pretty diversified between consumer goods, services, healthcare, industrial goods, technology. So we have a good breakdown of different sectors here. Don't really have any direct financial exposure with something like Wells Fargo, JP Morgan. Maybe that's something I look into. But as of right now, I'm pretty happy with how the portfolio sits. And like I said, I do have my eye on a couple of companies that I'm waiting for some good discounts on. And if we don't see those discounts, I may just pull the trigger either way and pick up those shares. On the right hand side here, you can see my dividends for this portfolio, which is the main focus of this portfolio again. This portfolio is yielding 4.25%, which is quite impressive, and I'll be expecting to earn around $1,327.23 from the dividends of this portfolio every single year. So that's not too bad for a $35,000 portfolio. And again, this is going to grow immensely over time as all of the positions that I hold, except for Boeing, are dividend stocks and dividend growth stocks. You can see here, if I look at the dividends, Altria is kind of the highest one in here. AbbVie and IBM are also some pretty impressive ones. And soon enough, a few days from now, Lowe's will be paying out its dividend to me, and Microsoft will be paying out next month as well. So lots of dividend action going on in here. I am looking to reinvest these dividends. However, in Canada, we don't really have the option for fractional shares, so it makes it a bit harder here. But the goal, at least right now, is any dividend income that comes in will be pooled together in my cash and then reallocated to other stocks that I plan to buy. Finally, if we scroll down here, you can see the PE of my portfolio, and you can see it's under a 20 right now, which I'm extremely happy with. And I like to keep this kind of low again because this kind of coincides with my beta of the portfolio and how volatile it is. This is not something you really want to have as a very high number for a dividend portfolio where you're going to rely on passive income in the future. So I like to keep these numbers as low as possible, and I'm happy with where it sits right now. So anyways, guys, that's kind of my portfolio. I hope you enjoyed this quick update. Again, I'm not really sure if I want to continue on with this series because I don't know if you guys want to see this. So please let me know in the comment section down below if you want to see updates on this portfolio moving forward. And if not, let me know that in the comment section as well. But either way, hit that like button, subscribe if you're brand new here, and make sure to check out Tip Ranks, the link in the description down below if you're interested in kind of building out a portfolio and doing this kind of analysis for your own positions. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.